I'm Mason.
I'm Owen.
I'm Nolan.
And we're going to be talking about some weather terms.
Talking about heat index. The heat index is a combination of humidity and air pressure that gives a description of how the temperature feels. This is not the actual temperature. A heat stroke is the most severe form of a heat injury and can be life-threatening. It can happen because of extreme and long exposure to the sun, where the person cannot sweat enough to lower their body temperature. When the body gets too hot, it sweats to cool off. If the sweat is not able to evaporate, then the body isn't going to be able to regulate its temperature. This evaporation cools the body. When sweat is evaporated off the body, it effectively reduces the body temperature. This can affect the human body with strokes, determining on how hot it feels.
The humidity can also make the temperature feel colder. For example, if it's 100 degrees with 15% humidity, it feels like 92, which is colder than the actual temperature. So as you can see here on this chart, it shows on how severe the heat index can be.
Now we're going to be talking about wind chill. Cue the wind. So wind chill is when the temperature lowers due to the wind. The wind chill is determined by the speed of the wind, the temperature, and the humidity. Okay, so this is a wind chill chart. It's basically like the heat index chart, except the complete opposite. There are higher winds with lower temperatures. It makes it extremely low, and it also shows in like the amount of time you could get frostbite in that temperature.
Dew point is a temperature at which air must be cooled in order to reach saturation. The higher the temperature, the higher water content in the air, and vice versa. In the summer, it is more humid because there is more water in the air. In the winter, it is less humid because there is less water in the air. That is why some people use humidifiers. High pressure is cooler, so the dew point will be lower because the particles are closer together. In the low pressure, it is hotter, so the dew point will be higher because the particles are more spaced out. It is called a dew point because it is when dew forms on the ground. So a significant dew point is in Melbourne, Florida, which it reached 91 Fahrenheit. Okay, so now I'm going to be giving an example of what dew point is. So pretend this sponge here is the air, and this is water vapor. So I'm going to put the sponge in the water. So that's about, that's about 50%. So this is the air, and then this is the water vapor. So it's about 50% filled with water. So it's like when you go outside, it's like not too sticky, but you can it's like comfortable. But if we fill the whole thing with it, this is super uncomfortable. It's like 90%. And then if we dump even more water on it, it'll start precipitating because it can't hold anymore. So this is a chart of how pleasant or miserable dew points can be. So if it's 55 or less, it's pleasant. 56 to 60, it's comfortable. 61 to 65, it's getting sticky. 66 to 70, it's uncomfortable. 71 to 75, oppressive. And then 76 or over, it's miserable. And it can only get to 99 because if it's 100, then it will start precipitating.
A million times, it's not the heat, it's the humidity.
And that will certainly be the case tomorrow, where dew points are expected to be in the 70s. So what is a dew point? That's a good question for Heather Brown.
Humidity, to me, I'm learning more and more.
We all measure humidity.
I think it's just like moisture in the air.
Differently.
My right guard kind of wears out pretty early on.
Our hair goes nuts, so.
Good thing you guys, But meteorologists have a special name.
Dew points are starting to climb as well.
Dew points in the upper 50s.
Now dew points are back up into the 60s. How do you calculate the dew point?
Well, we've got these fancy computers back here.
What is the dew point?
I have no idea. It just sounded good.
So dew point is the temperature at which the air needs to cool to reach saturation. Does that make any sense to you at all? Okay.
No.
Basically, it's the amount of moisture in the air, and the air temperature would have to cool to for dew to form.
How about this? It lets you know how uncomfortable it's going to be outside. That sound better?
Great.
We're in the steamy category, but by tomorrow, the comfort index drops. That means it's going to be feeling pleasant.
So the higher the dew point, the more moisture in the air.
Why are we so uncomfortable on humid days?
Well, there's so much moisture in the air that it's literally very difficult for our body to cool itself down.
The last thing we're going to be talking about is humidity. Humidity is the amount of water vapor in the air. The amount of water vapor that the air can hold is based on the temperature in the air. We say how much water vapor is in the air by using the term relative humidity. It tells us how much water vapor is in the air compared to how much it could hold at the certain temperature. It is a percent. For example, a relative humidity of 70% says that the air is holding 7/10 of the potential water vapor it could hold. Relative humidity is what is reported on the news. It is what the temp feels like, while humidity is actually what it is. Low humidity can make us feel colder, while high humidity can make us feel hotter than what the temperature actually is. Absolute humidity is measured in grams of water vapor per cubic meter volume of air. It is a measure of the actual amount of water vapor in the air, regardless of the air's temperature. The higher amount of water vapor, the higher the absolute humidity. For example, a maximum of about 30 grams of water vapor can exist in a cubic meter volume of air with a temperature in the middle 80s. The last one is specific humidity, which refers to the weight of water vapor contained in a unit weight of air, and is expressed as grams of water vapor per kilogram of air. Absolute and specific humidity are pretty similar in the concept. If there's a high humidity, it feels warmer because more particles are in the air, so it is a better conductor to make you feel warmer.
Hi, sisters.